Hi, welcome to this video day, 15th of August. It's Sunday. Just going to give our review of the best trades for the week ahead, and I've got 10 pairs which I think offer really good risk reward trading opportunities. We'll go and take a look at the setups in just a moment. Now, in terms of over the last few months, we've been very bullish of the USD, and media last week, a lot of analysts, economists, etc., saying the USD rally is probably over. We do not share that view. We think it's getting ready for another big push to the upside. The yen will go with it. Also, this week we've got the RBNZ. I'm very interested in some New Zealand dollar pairs as well. Now, what we will do is we're going to take a look at the charts just before we go over them. Just please keep in mind, it's my view as of this specific moment in time. It can obviously change in line with the market conditions. If you want to learn our trading strategy and all our trading techniques, as well as follow our daily sentiment and technical analysis of 14 FX pairs, you can get live access to our member center by just clicking the link beneath this video. You can also follow our Facebook page, join our Facebook group of traders, and check out our recommended regulated ECN broker. Now, we're going to use the charts from our member center. I've just done all my weekend updates. Just before we look at individual pairs, I just want to look at some data last week which made a lot of people bearish of the USD. Okay, I think it's actually bullish. Right, let's go and take a look at that material. Then we're going to go and take a look at the individual pairs. Before we go look at the individual pairs, I just want to look at some news that has many analysts calling for a far lower USD. And in terms on Friday, you can see it in my daily comments here. The University of Michigan's gauge of consumer sentiment plunged to a preliminary August reading of 70.2 from a final July reading of 81.2. The lowest sentiment reading since December 2011. The consumer is very important to the US economy. It's plus 70% of GDP. A lot of people arguing, well, consumer, he's bearish about what's going to happen going forward in the US. So stop spending. That's not going to happen. People are gloomy in the US about COVID dragging on. I think we're all bored of that. And also inflation, which is really high. But they're not going to stop spending, okay? And you can actually see it in this chart here. Chase consumer card spending, okay? They're still spending. And you can see the comment, no decline in consumer spending in the last 7 days ending August 9th. In fact, spending was up 15% from 2019 levels. That comes from JP Morgan. Just because you're gloomy about the future doesn't mean you're going to stop spending. That is going to have no impact on the Fed whatsoever. A lot of people saying Fed can't reduce stimulus now because of this decline in consumer sentiment. No, it's going to have no impact on them whatsoever. The US economy is actually doing okay, and they have inflation to contend with. We had inflation data last week. This is CPI inflation. 5.3 was the reading, the same as the previous month. You read the media, you think inflation had plummeted. They're saying, or a lot of people, inflation is transitory, it's going to be going down. It's the same as it was the month before. And leading inflation indicators point to it going even higher, possibly in the months ahead. The Fed are very well aware, they can't have inflation running out of control, okay, which it could do, okay. If you look at producer prices, look at the other side of the equation, a really good quote here. After soaring to a record high 7.3 year on year in June, PPI was expected, like core CPI, to moderate modestly in July to just 7.2% year on year. They were wildly wrong, as July's PPI soared to a new record 7.8% year on year. That comes from Tyler Durden over at Zero Hedge. I mean, look at the chart. Producer prices are not coming down. This get passed on to the consumer. So the Fed have a problem with inflation. What they do know, though, and I think I covered it in last week's video, is the employment situation is getting better. There was a solid payroll number, and all leading indicators point to the labour market improving. Very important for the Fed. The Fed will cut stimulus earlier than the market expects. Now, despite the rather bearish view of the markets, the dollar didn't fall much at all. Okay, yeah, if the market really was that bearish for, or the out was that bearish for the USD, the big money will have piled in, or would have piled in short the USD. They didn't. USD going higher. Right, let's go and take a look at some pairs. I'm going to start first of all with AUD. First chart, or USD pair AUD. USD last few weeks, tight sideways action, just moving around 100 pips from bottom to top of range. Now, in terms of this consolidation, it will enter. Which way were we going to go? We think to the downside, and we've got targets of 17 and 65. We had a nice run down. Hate it when it slows up like this. We've got 400 pips on our trade. We've now cut it back. We want to sell a downside breakout at the moment, or if we were to rally, we would sell. I'll come to the rally, how we play that in a moment. But in terms of AUD USD, I still think plenty of downside potential. Just go to our monthly chart. We met resistance. Yeah, huge amount of people bullish of the Aussie up here. Now we've come down. Got to really take out last month's low. Then it should be straight to 70. And I'm looking for a run on to 65. Okay. Now, in terms of the Aussie dollar, sorry, go back to it. We're going to stop quite close. But if we were taken on stop, it's 74.45. We would look for the rally to fade into 75, put our stop behind 76. I haven't drawn these levels in, but 76 is a massive level for the Aussie. I personally don't think it can get there. There's quite a few large spec shorts. You might get that short covering pop, but that'll be a selling opportunity. If we look behind the charts, it's not looking good for the Aussie. Hold on, where are we? Yeah, I'll show you iron ore, which is the biggest export of Australia. Massive bubble, and look at that for a fall. We will continue to 125, maybe even back to around the 80 level. It's just a massive bump, 50% of Aussie exports. China are moving to get away from Australian iron ore. This will not recover, in our view, going down way on the Aussie going forward. Now, one thing that's kind of stopped the Aussies fall is the second biggest export, which is coal. Someone pointed this out to me in the Facebook group. That's not such a big export or as much export revenue. But look at that for a nice parabolic rise. It's up 43% from the 120 level and 115% from the 80 level. Again, this is just a bubble, okay? It will break. And just my view, go back to 80. That will weigh on the Aussie, okay? There's other commodities that are going to go down, like copper and so forth, in our view, which will weigh on the Aussie. So important to Australia. And in terms of bubbles, yeah, look at that for a parabolic rise. All parabolic rises end, look at that one, bang, down. Same will happen to coal, and iron ore has got further to go on the downside. So yeah, basically bearish of the AUD, but yeah, not much action. Wait for a breakout if you're not short, or a rally that you can hit. USD CAD, another commodity currency, got most of that big rally up, come down, come back up a bit, but nothing going on. We're a bit underwater on this trade at the moment, about 70 odd pips, but kind of like three very low volatility candles. I'd say just through there if you want to buy. 125.50, you can see the level on my chart. I think crude oil is going to get a big hit, and that will weigh on the CAD. So I'm hoping that if we break out and just follow through to 128, then up to 130. Okay. Now, next pair I'm going to look at is another commodity currency, which is going to be NZD USD. Now, in terms of the NZD, we do have the Royal Bank of New Zealand up next week, and just go and look at the media view of the central bank. They are going to hike rates. Okay, they may even hike rates more than expected, some analysts are saying. And yeah, true. The New Zealand economy internally is doing very, very well. But I think the RBNZ might be a little bit mindful that the situation in Asia is not that great. okay, with COVID and so forth, China slowing up, it is an export-led nation, so maybe they'll surprise the market and stay on hold. And the RBNZ have, in the past, wrong-footed the market on numerous occasions, okay? But if we look at the price action, this level here looks pretty solid. And even with the markets expecting an RBNZ rate hike, it's not exactly powering to the upside, is it? And the really bad data, in inverted commas, for the USD on Friday didn't see much of a rally. I think this is going down. I like some of the crosses in terms of NZD, which we'll look at in a moment. But we take out these lows. I'll just go and I'll show you the monthly chart. NZD USD. So here's the monthly chart. Yeah, if we break down, okay, where would we go to? I think 65 is on the cards, so 500 pips to the downside. You probably see a level of support here, maybe, but I think 65. So it's one to watch. And I know when you just look at the price action, it's like this in a lot of pairs. Sorry, where am I? It doesn't look that exciting. It's just choppy and sideways. And this is another reason why don't rely just on technicals. We've already come in short. We'll probably come in short with another. We shall see. Next pair is one we like, USD CHF. Since last week, we were stopped out. We got 90 pips, which is disappointing. I was hoping we were going to go on to the upside. We've now fallen down. Quite a nice big red. I'm just looking for this level here to hold. Okay, and if we bounce back through this level here, I'm not giving it much in terms of confirmation. Let's say I want an aggressive entry because I think 91 will be a really tough level to take out. Hopefully we zoom back up and hit chart highs. I might actually extend the target in this one. Okay, if we fall down towards 91, I'll look to reset the entry lower. Next USD pair I'm going to look at, I looked at obviously the euro yesterday, and we're very bearish. Now, if the euro goes down, the proxy or correlated currencies will go down with them, and I think this one offers really good potential. Okay, it was a strong rally, then you get the dip, come back, dip, off the low, just wait for a move through the 7 level. And if you look at the monthly chart, we're basically 3 blue months. Okay, if we get through here, okay, we should get to 950, maybe even 10. Okay, so I like the look of it. I think sorry, I've gone back to USD CAD, my apologies. Just wait for a breakout higher. Other proxies look good. I looked at them last week. My views haven't really changed. They came back a bit. They're a buy. They're the USD against PLN, Czech Krona, CZK, and against, what's the other one? USD, Norwegian Krona. All right. On the last USD pair I'm going to look at, which is going to be USD SGD. Now, in terms of this pair, a nice big move up here. Retracement. Back up. A little bit of a retracement. I think this level here will be very hard to take out. Just basically a breakout from the triangle above 136 will do it. Have your stop back behind 135. Let's see if she runs. I personally think she should go to 140, which gives about 4 to 1 in terms of risk to reward. And you can see the monthly chart here. Last 3 months are blue. If we break up, I'm looking for 140, so up here. Okay. Now, in terms of the SGD, very exposed to global trade, and also China. China, a lot of problems going on there. Regulatory crackdowns, obviously economy slowing. In Asia generally, a lot of problems. Obviously, Singapore is a major hub in Asia. Very exposed, did I say, to global trade? Most exposed major economy. So I think that looks good on a breakout higher. Now let's take a look at some yen pairs. Right, first pair, AUD JPY. Now, in terms of Japanese yen, it is the currency that large speculative funds are most bearish of. It's where they've got their biggest short positions. And we personally feel the yen is going to have a really big move to the upside. Now, in terms of AUD JPY, it did come down quite nicely for us We're presently sitting on 300 pip profit, but look at that, sideways, okay? Now, in terms of the sideways action, I think it's going to end because we bounce here up to resistance, come off with the big red. Have another go. Blue, big red, red following through. That's a sell in our view, going down to 77.50, which is the weekly support level. So hopefully 300 pips. Now, in terms of we start moving down, the stop could be bought behind first level resistance. It's presently behind second. NZD, JPY. Choppy price action. Okay. Saw a rally from the NZD here. 78 just failed below the level, coming down, sell a downside breakout. 74 is the weekly and monthly support. So it's a really good risk reward on this one. We do have the RB and Z coming up as well. And yeah, we're looking for a potential surprise, obviously. Now, in terms of size, I would wait for the eve of the meeting. I might do a video on the day, actually. We'll see. I think it's going down anyway, the NZD. I think just basically RB and Z could push it down a little bit harder. We shall see. Where should we go next? CAD JPY has been a favourite of ours for a while. But again, yeah, recently it hasn't been that friendly, let's say. Yeah, you do come down. It's all this bouncing back to this double trend line, you know. But this candle here, if we follow through next week, I'll be looking for a move down to 84, and then it'll be weekly support at 82. Okay, risk reward on this one is really, really good, and the specs are really like the long side of the CAD. So this one looks good. I looked at this one last week. I just briefly looked at here. I don't think there's much upside in this one at all. We've come down quite nicely. This double trend line should hold, break the double bottom, which go down to 116. Not the fastest moving pair, but I think the probability on this one is really good. Where should I go next? Let's look at a cross to do with... Actually, I can look at GBP/NZD very quickly. Big correction. Okay, we're already long. I think, yeah, we are going to bounce higher. And this is what I'm looking at on the eve of the RBNZ to add some size in. So we'll see. But at the moment, I view it as a buy back through that high there. Okay. Chart highs, and I'm really bullish longer term. Okay, 2 then 240. Last pair is going to be AUD NZD. Two commodity cousins, and the AUD has been pretty hammered by the NZD. And look at these candles here, just tiny little ones. Okay, break here, 106, then possibly even 107. Okay. Obviously hoping the RBNZ will do this pair a favour for us. So there's some pairs to look at. Last week felt was pretty nondescript week, really, pretty boring. But you do find it in Forex. You get obviously long lulls and you get an explosion of volatility. So I'm hoping that might happen next week. So yeah, they're the trades we like the look of. Let's see how they go. We'll be back next week. Thanks for watching the video. Take care. Have a good day.